Welcome to Meowy Hour. I'm your host, Arden Moore. And as you know, this show is brought to you each and every Wednesday night live on Facebook by the Cat Fancier Association. Rusty the Performer and I want to give a special shout out to our sponsors in Clover. They make awesome dog and cat pet supplements. And we're going to be talking about how you can save 10%. So tune in. His favorite is Sleek because it's for keeping his hair nice and smooth. We have a very, very special guest today on our show. She is a brainiac. She knows a lot about cats and dogs. Her name is Debbie Martin. Hey, Debbie, how you doing?
Hey, great.
Now I got to take a deep breath because here comes her credentials. Okay, she is a registered licensed veterinary technician, but she doesn't stop there. She's also certified in behavior. And she and her husband, Dr. Kenneth Martin, who is a veterinarian, also operate not one, but two businesses. They operate the veterinary behavior consultations, and they also do team education and animal behavior. But wait, there's more. She is also one of the main people involved with Fear-Free Pets, the game changer to reduce FAS. That's fear, anxiety, and stress, says Rusty. So Debbie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here, Arden.
I keep calling you Deb because my sister is Deb, and she does not want to be called Debbie. I have a feeling you're the opposite.
Just don't call me Deborah, because then I'll feel like I'm in trouble.
And everybody who's been following our show, guess what? We are almost on our first year anniversary, and that will be the show July 7th. So mark your calendars because we're going to have some special giveaways. Also, somebody's MIA today. Yeah, our other co-pilot, Teresa Keiger, an all-breed cat judge, won the lottery and she's a zillionaire. Just kidding. She had an appointment conflict. She couldn't make it. But who is here, who's worth more than $1 million, is my co-host, and we're talking about all-breed cat judge, Kathy Black, with the dog designee, Destiny.
We are here, and we're glad to be here. Now, there's no painters here right now, so it's nice and quiet.
Oh, okay. And somewhere in my backyard office, appropriately named Ard's Den, is pet safety cat Casey, but he's taking a nap right now, but he'll show up sometime. So we have a lot to cover today, and I wanted to get started because there's a big holiday coming up. For any of you that love, I used to call them orange tabbies. I've been educated now. They're correctly called red tabbies, right, Coach?
Yes.
Ginger boys, whatever. Garfield. Do you guys remember Garfield?
Love Garfield.
All right, raise a paw, everybody, or type in the notes. How many of you in the 90s, come on, I want to hear from you, actually put one of those Garfield suction cups on your car?
I didn't put it on my car, but I have a friend that actually has like little Garfield symbols pointing to the gas tank. It says "feed me" and different things like that, you know. But yeah, so.
Well, here's something I found out about that. That happened in the 90s. All right. So any of you, all right, good. I see Clue Carradine's raising the hand. Thank you. Here's the deal. The creator of Garfield, Jim Davis, actually, this was a botched order. He wanted to create these Garfield dolls. He was calling them stuck on you dolls, and they were supposed to have Velcro on the paws so that these Garfields could stick on your curtains. But when the shipment came in, they were fitted with suction cups.
Oh, interesting.
See what my degree from Purdue and 20 years as a journalist is doing right now, I'm telling you. So it was a ooh, and it made him millions.
Yes.
There's a couple other facts that you may not know. Garfield is actually named after Jim Davis's grandfather, not President Garfield. But it gets complicated because his grandfather was named after President James A. Garfield.
And he was a fat cat.
Yes, he was. He was. Now, this guy proves that drawing and doodling in school can make you a zillionaire because his merchandise, Garfield, still to this day brings in almost 1 billion annually.
Wow.
So I checked around. You know what the least favorite thing Jim Davis thought of all the Garfield characters and memorabilia and merchandise? The only one he didn't like was one that came out a few years ago, and it's a zombie Garfield.
Never saw that one.
All right. He is in the Guinness Book of World Record because that comic strip is the most widely syndicated comic strip in the world. I know newspapers are dying. I used to be a reporter for 20 years, but it has also more than 16 million fans on Facebook. So remember the Garfield, the movie back in 2004? Anybody? Come on, it was cute.
I don't think I saw it.
Do you know who did the voice of Garfield?
Rodney Dangerfield.
That's a good guess. What do you think, Debbie?
I have no idea.
It's Bill Murray. Remember Ghostbusters?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right. And finally, there's only 3 countries in the whole planet where Garfield is not called Garfield in the strips. And they are Norway, Finland, and Sweden. I don't know those countries out there.
Yeah.
You know what they call him? They call him Gustav. Gustav. So he's not Garfield there. So does anybody still have their stuck suction cup Garfield from the 1990s? Get rid of it. It's probably old and disgusting, but if it's still in its box, never opened, let me know. I'll buy it for $10.
Yeah, I'm sure it's worth something.
I know it's worth a lot more. All right, so I just wanted to honor Garfield, and it's going to be a trivia contest question in a bit. But right now, I'm going to hand the mic over to Kathy, and she's going to talk about the CFA Minute. We have no money for special effects, Debbie.
This is a very big week for our association. This is the week of our annual meeting. Our annual meeting did not happen last year because of COVID. So it's been 2 years ago since we had one. And this year we're doing it virtually. So there's lots of new things to learn. People are checking in through a Zoom meeting now. The whole thing's going to be on Zoom. You can watch it on our Facebook page. It'll also be on our YouTube channel. Anyone can watch. Tomorrow is the board meeting that'll be up. On Friday is our delegate meeting where we vote on proposals and resolutions. And then Saturday, the board will meet with the international representatives and the Bereaved Council secretaries. And then Sunday will be another board meeting. So normally we do all this in person. There's 600 people or more. We all show up and see each other from all over the globe and have a good time. But this year we're doing it all virtually. So there's going to be a lot of interesting, hopefully no hiccups. Hopefully everything will go smoothly, but it's going to be very interesting this year. It'll be the first time we've ever had our annual meeting virtually, but hopefully we'll be able to get a lot of business done because we didn't get anything done last year at all.
Because you guys are.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be in Houston, Texas this year, but now it's virtually. It was supposed to be up in Spokane, Washington last year. and it got canceled because of COVID. Hopefully next year in the third week in June, we'll all be together again in person. But this is our big week for the association.
Well, that's great. Well, they can party at my house. I got a big backyard, so. All right, let's get into prizes. Kathy, would you kindly show our sponsors photo that shows the wonderful packets of cat supplements by In Clover?
You bet. And I'll tell you who the winners were last week.
Okay, so the question last week was, name the oldest cat as verified by the Guinness World Records. And the cat lived to be 38 years old, 3 days. Passed away in 2005. The cat lived in Austin, Texas. The kitty's name was Cream Puff. And here's the irony. The person who had Cream Puff, a guy by the name of, where is he? Oh, I had it here. Jake Perry, also had another cat live to be 34 years and 2 days named Grandpa Rex. I'm going to eat what they're eating. We got a couple of Methuselahs. So Kathy, we had 3 prizes. We had the In Clover, and we want to do a shout out. Thank you to our sponsor. And guys, check this out. Meowy In Clover 21. Write that down, because when you check out at inclover.com, you put that in and you save 10%. That's nice, right? So we do appreciate that. So we have that packet to give away, and 2 autographed copies of the book Catwise from our previous guest last week, and that is cat behavior consultant Pam Johnson Bennett. So take it away, Kathy. Who are the lucky winners?
Okay, so the In Clover winner was Nancy Dione.
Okay.
And the book winners were Julianne Brooks and Marianne Toth.
Okay, well, congratulations, everybody. Here's the deal. I talked about Garfield at the beginning. There's a real Kevin Bacon connection between the creator of Garfield and myself. We're born in Indiana. We're both Hoosiers. One year I actually had a license plate on my car that said Hoosier, and I moved to Florida, and everybody goes, "What's a Hosier?"
You're a Hosier.
I took it down. But Jim Garfield and I both grew up in Indiana, and the Garfield character and John and all the Odie and all that take place in Jim Davis's hometown. So I'm going to give you 4 names, 4 city names in Indiana. Please, Debbie, do not give any kind of, because they have to guess it. Okay, so where is Garfield's hometown, which is really Jim Davis's hometown? Is it A, Crown Point, B, Indianapolis, C, Muncie, or D, Valparaiso? So Crown Point, Indianapolis, Muncie, or Valparaiso. So the winner is going to get a packet of the In Clover cat supplements. So type in your answers now. Uh-oh, somebody's like trying to figure it out. I can see it. We got smoke coming out of ears right now. That's great. All right, let's get into it now. We have just gone through a crazy 14, 15 months. We're still on the tail end of this thing called COVID-19. A lot of people adopted cats and dogs during this time. I think anybody that knows cat health, cat behavior, and cat enrichment is going to be a very busy professional now, because people have bonded with their cats, and some want to take them with them on a trip. Some want to figure out how to hire a pet sitter or board them. And what is June 1st? June 1st is the start of hurricane season. Mm-hmm. Mother Nature doesn't care where you live. She can have an attitude in many ways, as a wildfire, as a hurricane, as a tornado, ice, you name it.
Flooding.
So that's why I'm so happy that we've got a go-to person on our show right now that's going to give us some disaster preparedness tips She's also going to talk about some good tips on getting a cat carrier, how to get a cat in a hotel. I mean, remember, she's one of the main people on Fear-Free Pets, started by Dr. Marty Becker and others. And this lady is really, really knowledgeable. I'm shutting up now because I want Debbie Martin to talk. She's with Veterinary Behavior Consultations, and she's also from Texas, because I'm in Dallas and you are in
Spicewood, which is
Spicewood.
30 miles west of Austin.
Oh, so you're near the cool place, the cool town.
Well,
All right.
Willie Nelson lives out here in Spicewood.
Oh, Willie? Okay, well, have him get on Meowy Hour after you. Tell him, if he wants to come on. So, Debbie, let's get into it, because you are a licensed veterinary technician, LVT, but then you also got a specialty in behavior, and you live with a dude that is a veterinarian. I would say you both like pets.
We do, and he's a board certified veterinary behaviorist, so we like pets and we like behavior. we like training. So certainly, it's all about the emotional aspect for us when we're thinking about pets. Not only are they our children, basically, all of our animals are our four-legged kids, basically, and that's how most pet owners think of their pets anymore. They're not just a pet; they're part of the family.
Wouldn't you say that COVID I'm a 3/4 glass full gal. I think it helped us connect stronger, the bond with our pets. What do you think?
I agree. We're certainly spending more time with them because we're during the time that nobody was going anywhere, they were spending time at home and observing their pets more, maybe finding out things about their pet they didn't know.
Right.
Because just of being around during the day and seeing those activities. And maybe sometimes their pet was changing too, with the change in the routine, having people around more, their behaviors could be changing as well. They may be not getting as much sleep as they used to. Negative, like during the day, if nothing's going on, oftentimes they're resting, but if we're home up doing stuff, they often are awake and engaging with us. And so certainly that can change how they feel overall if they're not getting enough sleep. I think it's important when you're getting new pets, whether it's a kitten or an adult cat or a puppy or an adult dog, is that they always need some downtime, some quiet time throughout the day to do their cat naps and get those in, because they really, it's important for their overall mental health, just as it is for us. Getting good rest is important.
All right. Well, everybody, don't take a cat nap now. Wait till after the show. But we're going to get into, because not only does
Destiny, she's out.
Destiny, she's out. She goes, I'm taking a dog nap. Anyway, here's the deal, though, before we launch right into it. Debbie actually knows firsthand what it's like to get caught in a hurricane with a house full of pets. So can you tell us a little bit about what happened and how has that helped you be able to give out really good disaster preparedness tips?
Yeah, you certainly learn from experiences, that's for sure. I moved to New Orleans in early 2005, and in August of 2005, Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans.
Yeah.
So I'd been there about 6 months. I'm originally from the Midwest, actually Ohio, and I came from Purdue. I was working at Purdue before I moved to New Orleans at the vet school there. So Arden,
hey, Boilermaker. Hey.
Exactly. I was like, whoa, what is this about the hurricanes? And I'm not talking about the drinks.
Well, that's New Orleans. Okay. All right. Yeah.
And at the time we had a combined household because my now husband and I had combined our houses, and
I call that the furry Brady Bunch. That's what I did when I got married a few years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. When we had 5 dogs, 2 cats, and a parrot.
Wow. Yeah. 8 is enough.
Actually, we got caught a little off guard because I don't know if you remember the history with Katrina, that basically it was going up the East Coast and then all of a sudden it jumped across Florida and came back into the Gulf.
And slapped it. Yep.
TV watchers. So we had seen that it was going up the East Coast and we stopped watching the news about it because we were doing some landscaping in the backyard. And my parents called me from
Hey,
Ohio
why not?
and said, hey, what are you doing about this hurricane? And I said, what are you talking about? And they said, it's headed your way. And this was on a Friday night. So we had been doing landscaping all day. We packed up the car, the animals, all the things that we needed for our business and everything all into, it was
What kind of car?
It was a Ford Ranger.
Okay,
truck.
thank God it wasn't a Beetle. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. 5 dogs, 2 cats, and a parrot. And we drove overnight to Houston. Yeah, to get out of New Orleans before it was too bad. But certainly being prepared, which I feel like we were fairly prepared, but we were rushing around to get things done.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
knowing
yeah.
now that having everything on the go, having a checklist so you're not trying to think of stuff in the panicked moment is going to be important. So making sure you have a cat out bag or a pet out bag, or at least a list of things that you want to make sure that you take with you. And those include medical records. So anytime you go to the vet hospital, you probably all have your files like I do of my pets. Make sure we can easily get the medical records, medications for the pet, their food. Take familiar things that your pet feels comfortable with. If you can throw in one of their blankets or a bed or something special, one of their favorite toys, make sure you take some special things with them so that they have familiarity when they're being relocated somewhere else. And that's true too. You were talking about traveling with your cat.
Right.
These are all tips that you can use for traveling, whether you're in a disaster situation or you're doing it for fun. These are all things that you should have with you. And then making sure you have good identification as well. And
Thank you.
really, when it comes down to that, I'm thinking with cats, most of the time I want them microchipped because I think, collars come off way too easily. And a lot of cats don't like wearing collars, and depending how you're managing them in their carrier, it depends how the carrier is, whether it's safe to have them with a collar or a tag on there. My preference for collars are ones that don't have tags on them, that are embroidered with their name and a phone number.
That's what Rusty has. Because you can see his name, and as somebody with fear-free pets, how important is it if somebody came up and said, Rusty?
Right. Then there's this familiarity, like they know, that's a cue. I know my name. And so this person must be okay. Right?
Yeah.
So identification is really, really important.
His middle name is Treats.
Yeah. There you go. Treat. Yeah, my puppy's learning that too. We have a new puppy in the house. And then really it comes down to, I really feel like it's important not only for travel, disasters, but also routine veterinary appointments, is having the cats comfortable with a carrier. And
and you actually brought a couple of carriers. You're in an office, so
used.
Talk about the 2 you like.
Yeah, so this one is a brand new one that I got, and I really like it. It's actually for dogs. It's an airline bag for small dogs, but you know what? Cats can use it too. I know.
Yeah, that's okay.
But what I liked about this one is that it actually has zippers on all sides. It has these little clasps here too that you can clip so it locks it.
Oh, can I tell you, my one cat years ago knew how to unzip.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm driving down the road, and all of a sudden I look over in the passenger seat, and he's sitting there like this.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah. So all the zippers that open all the way up have these little locks on them, which I really like. I also like that it opens all the way. Whoops, it's not locked. It opens all the way that way, and also this way.
Okay.
So that you can practice having them go through.
Yeah. Hey, that's a mini tunnel. There'll be agility stars.
It is a mini tunnel. You do have to set it against the wall because when it's undone, it's a little bit
wobbly.
flimsier. Yes. I like that for cats that like to look out, this gives them the ability to look out this side as well as here and on the top. And then you have a partial one here. This is solid right here.
Okay.
So you have nice storage. There's storage on this side as well.
I like that. And now you can say, who makes that one? You can go ahead. It's okay.
by K9 Sport Sack. That's the name of the company. K9,
What is it called?
K9. So it's a K and then the number 9. Sport Sack. S-A-C-K. They make a backpack for dogs.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I found it because our little dog that we just got, I got a backpack for.
Oh, okay, cool.
Carrier.
So show us the other one.
The other one, and cats that we prefer not to see everything going on. This is a great option. And most cats probably would be more comfortable blocking some of the view, especially if you're traveling with them and there's a lot of stimulation or people or activity going on. This is a sleepy pod, and this one is specifically for airline travel, so it does meet regulations for that. This is why I brought my puppy back from the breeder in because we were traveling by
Can
air.
we say hi? Welcome Chip to the family, right? You got a
Chip's a 15-week-old border terrier. So.
How much does Chip weigh now?
He weighs 12 pounds.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes. He just went to the vet on Monday again. So.
Okay. So for the cats that are like, I really don't want to look out, tell us the features on this.
Solid on the sides, a lot more privacy, nice, removable, and it's fleece. The bed is really nice in here, padded and fleece. They do make a warmer that you can get and put underneath it. So cats really like to stay warm.
Do they get Netflix in there?
They get what?
Netflix?
No, yeah, exactly. Probably so.
They're going to have to watch Garfield from 2004.
What I really like about this carrier is it's so steady.
Yeah.
So you saw this one it's steady on the bottom, but it's a lot more flimsy, right? But this one's really solid. And it makes it easy for you to safely carry it too. The best way to carry a carrier is actually not from the handle. If you're carrying your cat around like this,
I got vertigo.
Exactly. It's just not comfortable. And actually, I prefer not to do the shoulder thing either, like the bag, because again, it's swaying a lot. You really want to carry them like they're a fragile package, just right like this. So you hold underneath, and that keeps it from tipping or going sideways if they get into one side of it or the other. Because if they're in there and you're just holding onto the handle, oftentimes they'll start to do one of these.
Yeah, they run to the back and it gets so heavy on one end you can't hold it. Yeah.
They curl up in a ball on one side.
Right.
So, and then,
well, hey, Debbie, Rusty here. I have a question. When I was a kitten from Samantha Martin, she rescued me from a dumpster in Georgia. I was orphaned. She bottle fed me. She taught me, she blew a whistle and she would toss treats into the carrier. So I think carriers are like the bee's knees.
Yes.
And I know you're big with Karen Pryor. You're one of their top people and you've written books and everything. Can you talk about how maybe you can do a little clicker training with carriers?
Yeah, so we can use the clicker if you are comfortable doing that, but you don't even have to be that fancy. I mean, certainly you can create positive associations with a carrier fairly easily. Yeah.
There's my clicker.
Yeah, exactly. I've got those here too. And then actually my clicker's usually in this drawer here, but it got moved somewhere. What I would say is the first thing that I do, I don't even use the clicker. I just open up the carrier and I put food right outside of it so that they start coming around and finding the food there. Even treats, you can have what I call the crate fairy visit the carrier and
what do you call it? Crate fairy?
The crate fairy, yeah. Can hide treats in there, and as they explore or start to investigate it on their own. The sleepy pod, they make another one that's a round bed too. That's very nice.
I've seen that one, yeah.
Yeah, that one's really cool, and it's kind of like no matter what your decor is, it looks nice. You can get them all different colors. And so just putting food near it on the outside initially, then inside, hiding favorite toys in there. So it's a place that they want to go in and explore and find things in. It sits out in the environment. So it's not something that is hidden away in the garage or in the closet and only comes out when, lo and behold, you're going to take the cat to the veterinarian or somewhere that they're afraid of. potentially. So we want to make sure that it's a positive association from the start. If we're doing clicker training, first thing you need to do is teach your cat that when you make the sound, that you're going to follow that up with a little goodie, a treat, whatever their favorite little treat is. Small, remember?
Yeah.
Because they're little.
The big staple.
Exactly. And then once they understand that this sound means you're going to hand them out a treat, we can start actually capturing behaviors that they offer. So when they you put this down on the ground or even up high, and they go, oh, what's that? And they come over to rub on it or whatever, we can mark that and then give them a treat.
I love it. I love it.
They're done eating their treat and they start to explore it again, although sometimes they might come look at you now that you just gave them a treat, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
You can set the treat in there, and we mark their behavior with the click to let them know, yes, that's it. You're going to get a treat for that. And it's always a promise. If we're going to click, we're always going to treat. We want to make sure that we don't break that promise or dilute the meaning of the click sound for them. Yep. And they learn pretty quickly that it's their behavior that's making you click and giving them a treat. So it's very
because you don't want to go to clicker training counseling, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And with all this too, it just segues nicely for the 3 people on the planet who don't know. Please tell us what is fear-free pets and why they should all go to fearfreehappyhomes.com.
Wow, that's well, fear-free pets. I'll start with that. They also have Fear-Free Happy Homes, but Fear-Free Pets was founded by Dr. Marty Becker, as you mentioned earlier. He used to be on Good Morning America. He's written over 25 books about animals and pets and stories and how we love them and the bond that we have with them. But Fear-Free is about decreasing fear, anxiety, and stress in pets. Not just, it started with the veterinary movement because he is a veterinarian. Right. But it's in all aspects of care, with training, with grooming, with pet sitting.
Being at a cat show, right?
Yeah. Yes. So everywhere that animals are living or having experiences, creating these fear-free experiences. So we're decreasing their stress and fear of novelty or situations. But pets live most of the time in the home with their pet owners. And so certainly having information available is where Fear-Free Happy Homes came in. And this is kind of the pet owner facing website that has video tutorials. There's over like 70 video tutorials on there, and they're great. They're little, they're entertaining, they're short, and they go over things like enrichment for cats, and fear of sounds for dogs, separation anxiety in dogs. So there's a lot of dog focused ones too, but there's a lot of cat videos on there. And then wonderful blogs and articles. I know, Arden, you've written quite a few things for Fear-Free Happy Homes. And, we have a wealth of knowledge on that website, and it's free, entirely free.
Yeah, and it's been vetted out by people like Debbie Martin and Dr. Kenneth Martin. I have some fun I want to do where I'm going to close my screen. I want you to keep talking, and I'm going to come back and we're going to test the 4 F's that cats may have. You know what I'm talking about? So to kill a couple minutes while I get this special prop, would you please tell people what your pet peeve is when it comes to cats?
I will. I will. And hopefully I don't insult anyone. This is just something that I used to actually say all the time. And you may have heard it. We talk about cats being predators, right? Because they are predators. They are great hunters, and they're amazing and stealth-like, and their whole hunting process is so much fun to watch, actually, when it's with play. I don't really like to watch the real live thing, but we also started saying that cats are not only predators, but they're also prey. And I used to say that a lot too. And then I really started thinking about it. I'm like, well, how can you really be both? I mean, everything could be preyed upon, but if you're a predator because you prey on things. Doesn't mean that you couldn't be preyed on as well. But what were we really trying to say when we talked about cats being prey? And what we were saying was, well, they like to hide. They're afraid of novelty. When people come in the home, they hide under the bed. And sometimes people don't even know I have a cat because the cat's afraid when strangers come in. And I thought, well, I don't know that that's because they're a prey species. It sounds to me like a issue with socialization, early socialization, or potentially genetic influences.
Yeah.
Right?
Because there are some breeds, let me jump in here. There are some breeds, Kathy, right, that have reputations for being pretty outgoing and others that would like to be a four-legged librarian.
Yeah, I mean, even within my own breed, I would have cats that would vary. I'd have very outgoing cats. I'd have cats that were more a one-on-one type of cat. They didn't want a bunch of people. They didn't want a bunch of legs walking around. They wanted to have more of a one-on-one. And the Siamese are typically known for being that way, but there's other breeds that just like it a little more quiet, but it's all what they were exposed to when they were little is a lot of it. And you can overcome some of those maybe genetic predispositions that are there. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. I've got some cats that they were well socialized as kittens. They still run and hide when strangers come because they're just used to a quiet house, you know.
Right.
And so it's just some of it just happens over time because they don't have enough continued. They may have been exposed to it when they were kittens. They were brave, but then as they got a little more sedentary, a little more mature, they kind of got back into it's always so quiet around here. Now it's not quiet. So
well,
I'm
that's
scared.
kind of, I think, an issue that's going to be facing a lot of us. Casey was used to traveling and going to conferences and teaching pet first aid, and COVID hit. We've been doing everything on Zoom. Are there a couple of tips, Debbie, you can give for people that may have cats that were pretty socialized, but we had to isolate? And before you start, here comes my guy. This is what I use in my pet first aid class when I talk about fear-free pets. I say kitties have 4 F's that they can do. What's this one?
Fear.
Freeze.
Freeze. Oh, I see.
And then this one?
Fret.
Yep.
Fidget.
Or?
Fight. Flight.
Flee.
Or?
Fight. Yeah.
That's great.
So
That's
we
great.
did that in class. One time a person had to leave because she piddled herself. But fidget, free, flee, fight. I mean, they do have some choices when they feel threatened or cornered, right?
Right. They do.
So he was worth the price. You like my guy?
I do. I've seen those.
Casey goes, it looks like me. But let's talk about it because this is on a lot of people's minds. People who go to cat shows, either to show a cat or see a cat, people who want to travel. These cats were outgoing and all of a sudden they lost a year and a half almost of lack of socialization. Any guidance?
Yeah. And there can be regression, just like Kathy said. It's not just about in kittenhood. I mean, obviously good experiences during that time help set the stage for it to be easier to continue to give them experiences that they enjoy, activities like that. But when we have a long break like we've had, there can be some fear associated with getting back into the mix. And I'm going to first say, I mean, like me personally.
Yeah.
Right? Anyone else felt a little bit anxious or nervous as you've gotten vaccinated maybe and you're starting to go out more places? And
absolutely.
Anxiety, like if someone still if they get too close to me, I feel like I need to back away. My bubble has become larger.
My first airplane ride, I was nervous, and I wasn't nervous about COVID. I was just nervous because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect at the airport. I didn't know what to expect on an airplane. That was what was unnerving to me. And I could see where if you were taking an animal, they could sense that nervousness that's in you, no matter what you're making you nervous. So,
you brought up a good point
for all of us.
They're smelling our emotional states. So how do we fake it, the confidence, till we make it, Debbie?
Deep breathing. That's the most important thing, really. I mean, it comes down to breathing in and out slowly, deep breath in, deep breath out. That calms you and it relaxes you and it calms your pet too. So very important. It's yoga tip 101, but certainly it works outside
Well,
of
does Casey
lots
look
of
really
extra
scared?
time. You
Yeah.
know, no, Casey's never scared.
What do you check out Casey? What's Casey telling you, Debbie?
He says it's dinner time, I think.
Yeah. He's like, yeah.
Where's my treats?
Yeah. But he's pretty, he adapts quickly, which I know is a good trait to have in a therapy cat and a teaching cat.
Yeah.
So we got that deep breath. What are some other things we can do to get their paws back in the water, so to speak?
Take it slow. Be ready for them to not be where they were before. Okay. If it's a new cat to you too, you're not sure how they're going to do, and be ready to make sure if you're going on an excursion with your cat that you're ready to leave. So just because you think this is going to be a fun outing for us, being aware of the cat's body language. Are they having a good time? Are they enjoying this outing? If they're not, you need to be their advocate and be willing to leave the situation. So I would say when you're starting to go out and do these things, make sure it's not that it's optional, at least initially, until
you know. We like to show our kittens when they're very young to get them used to going to cat shows. But there were a bunch of cats that missed their entire kitten season. And we've got some people that are bringing out cats as 8, 9, 10 months, maybe a year old, and they've never been to a show before. So, you know, you're going to have to really rely on your genetics to kind of get you through that and hope that the cats are okay. But there's, you know, we're aware of that as judges. And some of these cats may be a year old. They've never seen a show hall. It's not going to be the same experience for them as if they were 4-month-old kittens and they're just oblivious to everything. So I think this is good advice you're giving to whether you have a pet cat or you have a show cat, because we are now starting to travel more and people are starting to be more mobile with their animals. And so it's something we have to keep in mind.
Well, let's talk also because of Fear Free. I have a veterinarian, Dr. Deborah Charles. She is Fear Free certified. Her clinic is certified, and it's been a game changer. And now as people are starting to stop being in the parking lot, waiting for the vet to call us, tell us the importance, especially for cats, why we may need to look for somebody that has that skill set.
Yeah, so fear-free practice or a fear-free certified professional is going to be looking out not just for the physical well-being of your pet, but also their emotional well-being, and making sure that they're not contributing to fear, anxiety, and stress in your pet, even with giving veterinary care, because stress is unhealthy, especially distress is unhealthy. Some stress is natural, you know, like a change in our routine, going on vacation. That's a little stressful.
Zip lining last week in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. Yeah. Tubing for the first time. Yeah.
So a little stressful because your routine's off, but a good stress. But distress is when it's more like a fight or flight response. That's where we have an adrenaline surge. There's cortisol going through our body. It's a negative emotional state that the pet has. And a fear-free certified professional is going to be aware of body language indicators, subtle language that they're giving us or signals that they're giving us that tells us they're becoming more uncomfortable or uneasy about the situation. And they're going to adapt their approach based on your cat's response and make it a positive one. There are times that it is better for the cat to have a little bit of a cocktail, so to speak.
We're gonna make one of those later in the show,
right?
Yeah.
My husband always tells people, he's like, you know, we could all potentially get a colonoscopy without sedation, but if you were to ask most people, they would say, please give me the sedation. I don't want to remember it. And there are plenty of people that have a fear of going to the dentist, and the dentist doesn't necessarily sedate them, but might give them a little something to take the edge off to make it a better experience. So if your cat is not comfortable with being handled in the veterinary hospital, either due to previous experiences of discomfort, you know, it's frightening, the different smells, the sounds, all that kind of thing, unfamiliar people, you know, a fear-free certified professional is a veterinarian will be adept on what medications would be safe to use if we needed them, what maybe supplement or nutraceutical might be appropriate, a dietary supplement that would be given prior to a vet visit. But the handling that they're going to do too is going to be different. They're not just going to dump your cat out of the carrier. They're going to let them come out on their own. They're going to give them some time to relax into the environment. They'll probably have some calming music playing. They'll have pheromones in the environment, calming pheromones, either probably on them, but also maybe in the plugins in the room. And the lighting may be a little dimmer, so it's not a bright, harsh light. And their approach is going to be, they may act as if your cat doesn't exist. I mean, how many of you have cats that when people stare at it, like, you know, when you have a friend comes over and they love cats and want to meet your cat, and your cat's like, why are they staring at me? I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Whereas if you have a friend that maybe isn't that comfortable with cats, usually those are the people that will ignore your cat, and your cat's going to go right for them because they're non-threatening. They're not giving them eye contact and they're not trying to engage. And so the cat is curious because they don't feel threatened by that. So they'll probably use what we call a considerate approach, where they're going to take into consideration that direct eye contact. Doing the exam in a different order is something that they are taught. Instead of starting at the head and working back, they start in a neutral location, like along the shoulder and neck, and they make friends first, and they go to those less sensitive areas before looking at the face and the mouth.
All right. Hey, we're wrapping up the show. We've got this emerging new breed to talk about in a second. I hope that you, Debbie, can stick around because you deserve a cocktail, and we are going to make one. And if you have like even a glass of water or something, we're going to do a toast at the end. But I think we could all say we would like Debbie back. What do you guys think? Should we? We have a lot more to cover.
I would love to come back. Yeah.
Oh, I would love it. We'll get your hubby there too. We'll get and your dog will be all grown up. He can come on the show too. Hey guys, at this time though, I thought it was a typo. All breed cat judge Kathy Black is going to talk about a breed from Thailand. I can't even pronounce it. The Khao Manee?
The Khao Manee.
Khao Manee. Take it away, Kathy.
Okay, so the Khao Manee is a breed that's currently in the miscellaneous category, which means it's a new breed being evaluated by the organization. And it is a cat that only comes in white. And of course, when you get a white cat, you can always have a blue eye. So here's two cats that both have the odd eye with the blue. It is a cat that was favored by royalty. This mural was painted sometime between 1782 and 1851 during the reigns of King Rama, the first, second, and the third. So here we have a picture of a Khao Manee. This is the white jewel of Thailand. So it was a cat that was considered a good luck charm. It's also was written in poems called in a book of poems called the Tamra Mew. That was written around 1350 AD. And I don't know if you guys have been to Thailand or not, but in Thailand, it's even in December, it's 100 degrees and 100% humidity. So these cats were used to being around a very hot and humid environment. So they don't have a lot of coat. They don't have a real thick coat on them. They come in this pure glistening white, and they want the eyes to be luminous and vibrant, like jewels. They could be blue, green, gold, or an odd-eyed, like I showed you earlier. And like I said, they were built for warm weather, but they're athletic, lithe and muscular, with medium boning. So here's some pictures of these guys. They really kind of want to favor the odd-eyed cats. These two have the blue eye on the left. The first two I showed you had the blue eye on the right. They really even want to favor what I call the cracked eye, which is something that happens sometimes in cats, but it's not something you can really particularly breed for. But they don't want you, we normally would disqualify this type of eye in any of our cat breeds, but they don't want you to disqualify this type of eye. They actually say it's favored. But like I said, it's very rare to get eyes like that. I love this picture of these kittens. They've got a cat in here that's not white. But look at all these little Khao Manees. You've got some blue eyes, some odd eyes, some green eyed, and then I love this picture too. There's one in every family. This little kitten cracking up in the back row here. But this is a breed that comes from Thailand. We have several breeds out of Thailand. We have the Karat, which is a blue breed of cat. We have the Siamese originally came from Thailand. So we've got some other cats that claim Thailand as their home. But this is the solid white jewel of Thailand with the luminous eyes. And this is called our Khao Manee breed. And I just wanted to bring attention to it because it's a new breed that we're evaluating, and a very different looking cat.
What do you think of that, Debbie? Did you know about this one?
They're beautiful. The beautiful cats. I love the athletic build. I like that kind of look in the cats. My husband used to have an Abyssinian.
Okay.
Oh,
I bred Somalis for
Right.
Over 25
Yeah.
years. Those are
Yeah.
long-haired Abyssinians.
So one question I do have about the breed, do they have any issues with congenital deafness because of the?
Well, you can always have the deafness if you have a blue eye because you're missing the melanocytes in the ear,
Right.
but it's not something that the breed tends to have a lot of
Okay.
because they have, typically they're not both blue eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious about that, just knowing from the vet field, right? I see
Right.
that.
Well, and there's some countries in Europe that won't even let you breed white cats because they're worried about skin cancer and they're worried about the deafness and, things like that. So, but this is a naturally occurring breed, and it may just have the masking gene. There may be some color underneath there. I don't know if they always breed pure white or not, but the white is the only color that they show. Yeah.
all right.
Good question, though.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I know we have about 9 minutes left. So let's talk about companion cat world, then pet first aid. Then you all are thirsty. We're going to make a different kind of kitty cocktail, not the kind you give kitties that are kind of stressed out. And then we're going to say goodbye. So take it away, Kathy.
Well, we were talking about traveling with our cats. And when you register your cat with the Companion Cat World or CFA, you get this card, this membership card with your cat's picture on it. Everything's backwards with the Zoom. But you can also order luggage tags, and the luggage tags are great for putting on your cat carrier because it has your name and your cat's name and your cat's picture. And so it's just nice to have, not only for the veterinarian, but also for traveling. So this is our program to register the non-pedigreed cats. It's called CCW, which stands for Companion Cat World. And you can find out all about it on our website, cfa.org/CCW. It's $13 for a one-time registration fee that gets you this card. The luggage tags and the key rings are a little extra, but everybody check it out. cfa.org.
And Casey and Rusty are proud card-carrying members. What do you think of that program, Debbie? You like it?
Oh, it's awesome. That's great.
Bringing every cat together. Love it. All right. I'm all about safety. And I'm known as America's Pet Health and Safety Coach. And I think that one of the best gifts you can ever give your cat or dog is take a veterinary approved cat or dog first aid class. So I do both. I also teach a 2-day program for you to become an instructor through Pro Pet Hero. But my company, Pet First Aid for You, check out some of my assistants, Debbie. What do you think?
I love it.
Wouldn't you want to take a class with real cats and learn about cat first aid?
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, Casey has been a champ. Rusty's in training, and we do everything from how to do CPR. We do some hacks. I call it how to be a mutt Guyver. What do you do when you don't have a pet first aid kit? You need to stabilize and render aid on site to a kitty to get them to the veterinarian, and they're called MacGyver tips. So we do have openings for our next class. It's June 29th. It's via Zoom. Good news, guys. Anybody can sign in, and you have your cat at home so you can do some of the towel wrapping techniques and carrier tips and everything with your cat with you. For those of you like us that have cats and dogs, we do have a few openings left for our class, which is going to be June 27th, it's a cat and dog class. So check out Pet First Aid for You. Hey, Deb, you should come on my class one time. I
That'd be
tell
fun.
really bad jokes. You could come as a guest. I would love it.
That'd be great.
All right. So we got a little bit of time left. And at this time, I love old fashions. Raise your paw if you're an old fashioned person. I love the old fashions, and they make them in different ways. And as I was telling Debbie, my secret skill is I'm a licensed bartender. So this one, I've kind of modified the traditional old fashioned and give it a cat name, of course. And we're calling it the Cherry Bourbon on ice, because it's very, very nice. And I want you to treat this yourself to an upgraded old fashioned with a cherry on top. So it's pretty easy to make. It's really important. Some people are kind of like, I gotta have the right glass. So you do want to have like a nice rock glass, not a tall glass. And the first thing you want to do is you want to take some cherries, about 5, and put them in the bottom of the glass. Then take your muddler. Well, we got to add this. We're going to then take some lime juice. Now, the key with an old fashioned, you don't ever see the glass completely full to the top. A good bartender will serve there. They're not cheating you. It's just the way the old fashioned goes. So you squirt a little lime juice in there. Then you need some orange bitters. Every drop is potent. This is not a glug, 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 glug. This is not a 1 count. It's usually like 2 or 3 drops. And I'm using orange bitters. Then you need to take, to give a little sweet, you're going to get brown sugar cubes. I cheated with brown sugar. Put it in the glass. Then you want to muddle it or mash it. So if you had a really big day at work, this is where you get your frustrations.
She loves her muddler, yeah.
My muddler and I are buddies. Next to my flame gun. I like the flame gun. So you're getting all the nice juices together. Then you want to add not just a bunch of ice cubes. Go pro, man. Get a nice big square or one of those round ones. You can get them very inexpensively. Come in 4. You put it in your freezer so it's always ready. And then you want to do, ooh, this big, man. You want to do a 2 ounces, which is an 8 count of bourbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, a couple of tips if you don't want to have chest hairs popping out. You can let this marinate with the big ice or add a little ice if you want. And then you want to make it pretty, so you top it with a couple more cherries. And these are fresh mint from my garden. Green does not show up well on this screen, so just pretend it's green. There it is. You put it in there. So now, at this time, please raise a glass. It can be this what did I call it? Cherry Bourbon on ice. It can be a glass of ice water. It can be a tea. We all need to raise a glass. Please let us toast to all cats, purebreds and mutt cats, because they make us better humans. Cheers, kitties.
Cheers.
Oh, this is going to last me all night.
Yeah, I better.
You know, it's good. I don't like a lot of sweet drinks. I guess I'm a bourbon and vodka gal. But I like this because you learn a little bit of chemistry with a fun way. Do you like old fashions at all, Debbie?
I do, yes.
So what'd you think of my cherry Bourbon on ice?
It's really good. You and my husband get along really well. He's our official bartender here at our house.
All right. Well, he's welcome anytime to come to Texas, to Dallas, and we'll have a good time. Hey guys, we have covered a lot today, and I want to let's give a round of applause for our very special guest, licensed veterinary technician. Check out the site. It's Veterinary Behavior Consultations. I've been putting it here on the feed. Debbie Martin, I really, really appreciate you being our guest.
Thank you for having me. I had a good time. I can't believe how fast the hour's gone by.
I know. And We do want to thank the Cat Fancier Association. They came up with this idea and said, hey, Art, you want to host a show about cats? I'm like, yeah. And so I'm very grateful. I want to thank Kathy Martin, my co-host. Teresa Keiger will be back next week. And of course, our sponsor, In Clover, they make cat and dog supplements. Check them out. They've been around since 1996. And they're owned and operated by a biochemist, Rebecca Rose. So got some legit there. Next week, our guest is going to be the amazing veterinarian, Dr. Joe Bardich. He knows everything about nutrition, and he's got board certification in internal medicine, and he hails from Georgia. And he's a great guy. I write Catster's nutrition column in every issue, and Dr. Joe is a go-to guy for me. I know you guys are going to love him, and I hope he has all his stuffed animals in his office from all the universities he's attended. He's got, like Deb, he's got like a long list of places that he's schooled. So until next time, same cat channel, same cat time. We'll see you on Meowy Hour. Thanks, everybody.